Hey, Muse. What's up? You been out hanging with your other muses? I can't figure that one out. Drinking coffee? What do you guys do when? And I use guys in the. I don't know what I'm saying. It's been a rough one, but that's not what I want to talk about, Muse. I just glad you and your Muse friends are out having gallivanting about, while us artists are here struggling. So, I finished To Kill a Reaper, second book in the Reaper series. It's done. It's in the hands of the editor, and unlike anything I've ever done before, I just jumped right into the next one. You know, normally you would have inspired me to write a different story in a different genre, and I would have finished the first one, and I would have jumped over into the next one and taken care of that, and then at some point come back to the Reaper series. But because of deadlines, I didn't have a choice. And so I started the third book without getting that, that sensation, that feeling from the infinite void of which you exist. And there's this interesting sensation, this feeling when I'm writing in this new book, and I know that I am just building upon that which you have given me, the idea for the story that you gave me, and the path that the second book took, and I'm building upon that. But at the same time, as you know, I write without a net, but I feel like the net that you supply me is missing as well. Now, that I know that sounds a little weird. It makes it sound like that you are giving me no inspiration for this book, and that's not the truth, because the inspiration for this story initially was so strong that it carries through. And I know the characters very well at this point, and where you helped me to end the second story was powerful enough that the third story just picks up right then. And I think that there's enough momentum from the second book to carry me through this one. And I'm sure that as I'm writing this, this third book, that you will inspire me. And I think yesterday, the day before, you hit me with a little inspiration, unintentionally. I was not even thinking about the book, about the third book. And out of nowhere, this image popped up into my head that has to do with one of the characters that the protagonist, the main protagonist of the third book, has to do with that. And the image was so powerful that it made me realize probably what will wind up being the climax of, or not the climax, actually it'll probably be the inciting incident. No. Right after the inciting incident. But it's a very important image to me. And of course I immediately went to the file and wrote some notes on that image. But I wasn't consciously thinking about it, so that had to have been your doing. So even within the framework of me just diving right in without any thought at all for this next book, not even knowing where it's going to go, I still feel you in the background tapping me on the shoulder going, "Psst, maybe let's go over here. Maybe let's take the story this way." And that's pretty cool. That is pretty damn cool. And I'm certain that it will continue like that. And it's really not much different than the way you and I work normally. Normally I'll be writing a book, and you will about halfway, or between halfway and 3/4 points way, you will have inspired me for a different book or a different story or something completely new. And I will have time between the initial inspiration and the end of the book that I'm working on to sort of develop that idea. And right now it's kind of all happening in real time. And it's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, I mean, it's these last few months have been a time for me to step back and view my process kind of from the top down to see what works and what doesn't work. And what's really cool about this is I realize that I can pretty much work in any way. Whatever works for that in that moment, I can handle it. You know, and we artists tend to be a really superstitious lot. We think that it's got to be like that. For example, before I started writing my first drafts on a computer, you know, I used to handwrite everything. And I got so weird about it that I had to use the same pen. And if I wasn't using the same pen, anything that came out of me was going to be terrible. So, you know, it's nice to know that those fears can be assuaged without even trying. And I know that you're a big part of that, Muse. We got a good thing going. Really. Let's not mess it up. And by let's not mess it up, I mean let's not get so caught up in one particular method or path that we lose sight of the fact that we do this the way we do it so that anything can happen. So it's loose. There are no boundaries and limitations. And that's the way I like it. And this just kind of reaffirms that for me. Even so, make sure your inspiration keeps coming, because I need it. You know, this is seriously one of those situations where I sit down to write and I'm going, okay, here goes nothing. And there you are, right there beside me or behind me or on my shoulder, or wherever it is you hang out when you're inspiring me. Where is it that you... One of these days I'm going to turn around. One of these days I'm going to write in front of a mirror. See if I can get a little glint of you hanging out there in the background. So I want to know what you look like, Muse. I really do. And I hope it doesn't require extenuating circumstances for me to actually see you. I don't want to go that far. I just would be kind of cool. It's not life or death, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. So, if you have no intention of showing yourself, that's cool. But maybe someday. Anyway, thank you for being there for me, Muse. I mean, really, I couldn't do this without you. One of these days, I'm going to dedicate a book to you. I'm just going to say, this book is for my Muse. Thank you for being there. And thank you for being awesome. Whatever. Anyway, that's all I got right now, Muse. What do you got? Come on, hit me. Not literally. Hit me.